The film starts with a magnificent and beautiful wedding of a happy couple. The bride is as good as ever. The groom is also looking his best, and everyone is in anticipation of a kiss. But wait, all of this is only happening in the sick imagination of a mentally unwell guy called Paul. He's obsessed with the fixed idea of marrying Hollywood celebrity Sophia. Perhaps he will still be able to fulfill his dream. Who knows? But for now, the film moves back to the events of 6 months ago. William, Sophia's bodyguard, simultaneously fulfills the functions of a butler and even a waistcoat for his mistress, who treats him easily. Sophia trusts this man completely, leaving him to look after her posh Hollywood Hills house, even while she is away. One evening, William opens the door to an insistent caller, Paul. It is immediately clear that the intrusive visitor is familiar to the guard, because when he sees him, he sighs heavily and rolls his eyes. Paul is full of enthusiasm, and in his eccentric manner, announces that today he will propose to Sophia, calling her his girlfriend. William tries to explain to the fool that this isn't true at all, shooing the intrusive visitor away. In the end, after a short verbal skirmish, Paul leaves. But soon the doorbell again catches William's ears. This time, the psychopath demonstratively puts a knife to his neck and loses touch with reality because he sees, instead of the guard, the object of his passion. William, who cannot allow a scandal with the death of a psychopath at the doorstep of his mistress's house, is forced to play along. A distraught Paul takes out a ring and proposes. William grudgingly plays his part and even hugs Paul, hoping that the fool will finally calm down and leave. This becomes a fatal mistake. The psychopath stabs William several times in the stomach. Excited from the achieved imaginary successes, the criminal enters the house, where he enjoys the trappings of a luxurious life, splashing in the jacuzzi, dressed in the clothes of his idol, and selflessly dancing. William at the same time is writhing in pain near the entrance, trying to reach the phone to call for help. 6 months later, Sophia is spending time with her boyfriend Rhodes when a recovered William comes to visit. Sophia is overjoyed at his arrival and shows off the huge puzzle she's been putting without him. However, one piece is missing. Now William is on his way to meet his young daughter. He is raising her alone after the death of his wife. Sitting on the roof of a building, they drink Coke and chat. The daughter says that she doesn't like her father's job, and also that they got another call at home from Paul, who she even feels a little sorry for. Somewhere in another part of Los Angeles, Paul's accomplice, a big man named GH, loads a certain red chest into a pickup truck. Late that night, Sophia and Rhodes drive to a nightclub where they party hard. The news reports that 2 very dangerous patients have escaped from a mental institution. They are Paul and his girlfriend Penelope, a very young girl, but as dangerous as he is. The psychopath calls her his personal assistant. Having learnt about this, William leaves home again to Sophia. Saying goodbye, his daughter asks him to be more careful. Back at the mansion, Paul meets Rhodes. The bodyguard tells him that 6 months ago, the mad ruptured his spleen. True, in a moment of enlightenment, Paul himself called the cops, and thus saved his life. Soon, William gets a call that his daughter's aunt has spotted a suspicious man outside their house. He tells her to call the police and rushes back. Rhodes is left alone in the mansion. He finds a letter with a list of people Penelope would like to date, including his own. A policeman arrives at William's flat and is dubious about the call. At this time, Sophia suggests that Rhodes start putting together a new puzzle. Rhodes, frustrated with his find, compares himself to the puzzle no longer needed. He thinks it's over between them, and Sophia is just playing with him. At the entrance to the mansion, someone brings a strange red chest, the same one that GH was loading. The second guard sees this on the cameras and comes out to deal with it. Just then, the lights go out all over the house. Sophia kicks Rhodes out of the house because she's fed up with him, as the guy accuses her of being windy and snobbish. She gets angry and says she doesn't need his help and protection anymore. The second guard left after William's leaving tries to switch on the electricity when Penelope gets close to him. She knocks him out with a taser and enjoys the man's torment by inserting the taser into his mouth. The guard tries to resist, but comes out badly. Rhodes and Sophia continue to quarrel. At that moment, Paul enters the house. Sophia tries to reach the switchboard and switch on the light, but falls to the floor from the chair. Suddenly, she notices that someone has switched on the kettle and found the missing piece of the puzzle. Rhodes, who hasn't managed to leave by then, finds the switchboard and switches on the electricity in the mansion. And, right behind Sophia, is Paul. He hugs her gently and tells her that he's missed her so much. The star is very frightened to find a psychopath in her house. She throws anything at him and wants to run away. But Paul corners her. Rhodes hears the girl screaming, runs back to the entrance, but can't get in, as the door is locked. Sophia can't reach the latch and can't open it. Paul knocks Sophia out with one punch. William returns home and doesn't find the policeman who was supposed to be guarding the house from outside. Minutes earlier, he was strangled by GH with a chain from his own bicycle. GH breaks into William's car as he is about to drive his family to the police station to securely protect them. He threatens William with a gun and tells him to go to Sophia. Paul is joined by Penelope with a red chest and happily announces that she has neutralized the guard. GH forces William out of the car in the middle of the road and shoots him right in the head. Paul excitedly informs Sophia that they have a wedding coming up and introduces her to the creepy Penelope, who is clearly mad. As he prepares for the wedding, GH arrives at the mansion with William's daughter and her aunt taken hostage. Penelope talks to Sophia in a fussy and crazy manner and gives her a pre-made dress to wear to the wedding. While Penelope leaves for a moment to take some cosmetic, Sophia climbs out of the room where she was put and picks up a guitar, intending to hit Penelope over the head with it. But in the end, it is Rhodes who enters the room first, having somehow still made his way in. It is he who takes Sophia's blow on himself. Meanwhile, the bound girl and her aunt are sitting in the mansion, and cries for help come from the chest. The girl asks Paul to let the man out. In the red chest turns out to be none other than a Protestant pastor. Penelope is the one who put him in there. And here she is. She comes back to Sophia and hits her with a baseball bat, but hits Rhodes, and then tries to strangle Sophia. Immediately, as if nothing had happened, she gets Sophia to play and sing a duet with her, which they do, sitting down at the piano. Penelope has an unexpectedly good voice and ear, but the psychopath's mood changes every minute, and now she is already angry at Sophia for allegedly faking, throws her out the window onto the terrace, and then douses her with fuel and almost sets her on fire. Sophia suddenly gathers all her strength and fights back against the mad woman, injuring her and dousing her with fuel too. She could have ended the psychopath, but instead she returns to the house. The girl tries to call the police, but doesn't have time to do this, as Penelope pounces on her again. Sophia stabs her again, locks her in a recording booth, and shoves a piece of paper set on fire in the same place. The mad woman flares up like a torch, and Sophia, horrified, puts out the fire. But Penelope by this time has no signs of life. Paul, who has prepared enough for the wedding, decides to visit the whole group. The pastor tries to talk sense into the madman, but he doesn't heed his words. Sophia leaves for a while, and only Rhodes remains in the room. Paul, in a fit of madness, mistakes him for Sophia. He is slightly confused only by Penelope's burnt body, but he immediately dismisses the thought, chatting sweetly with Rhodes about the upcoming wedding. Rhodes is shocked by this, but realizes it's not worth arguing with a madman. And William turns out to be alive. The bullet has hit him only tangentially. In the morning, he is found in the bushes by Sophia's maid, who has gone somewhere on business. He returns to the mansion in her car, and the imaginary wedding is already in full swing. All the participants are brought to the church. Sophia, however, in ordinary clothes, waits at the altar with the pastor. In Paul's brain comes another collapse, and he again doesn't recognize the girl. Her image has been displaced by Rhodes. Now he is the object of the psychopath's obsession. When he sees Sophia near the priest, he gets angry and sends her to the witness stand. In her place, Rhodes walks down the aisle in his wedding dress. Along with him, William enters under his arm, advising him on the way not to anger the maniac. William leaves the fake bride at the altar, and the pastor announces the beginning of the ceremony. William, already knowing how to behave with a madman, plays along. Then the bulky GH interrupts the ceremony and bewilderedly informs Paul that it is clearly not Sophia standing in front of him. To which Rhodes, also playing along, replies that he is definitely Sophia. When the pastor asks if anyone wants to object to this marriage, Sophia herself suddenly rises from her seat and tries to make things right. She feels terribly sorry for Rhodes and is worried about him. But Paul is stubborn and tells Sophia to take her seat. The pastor pronounces Paul and Rhodes husband and wife, after which they kiss. During the kiss, Paul has a vision of Sophia, but suddenly he has an epiphany and repeats the same trick he did 6 months ago, sticking a knife into Rhodes. A general commotion ensues. William tries to drown GH in holy water. Sophia, meanwhile, wants to stop Paul, but only kicks him in the head. GH takes William's daughter hostage. A wounded Rhodes mobilizes and stops the bulky GH with a knife. Paul, meanwhile, sees scenes of the posh wedding again, but the limo turns out to be just a police car, and he is taken away to jail. Rhodes and Sophia decide to try again. William tells his daughter that he's definitely quitting this dangerous job, and in Paul's imagination, he and his beloved are going on a wedding trip. He sobs and then smiles again, squinting at the bright sun. This is the end of the film. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this film, and see you in new videos.